Hello, and welcome back to episode 9 of the How to Make a 2D Minecraft style game in C Sharp. So, in the last episode, we added saving and loading. And in this episode, we're going to make a title screen where people can open up the game, they can choose what world they want to play. Maybe if they wanted to, they could make a new world. And then once they've done that, they can open up the world, it'll load, and they can play. We can also add a little button inside the world that they could press if they wanted to leave to go back to the main menu. But before we do that, I think we might need to clean up the save file a little bit for this world. If I open this in the File Explorer and I go into my world here, all of these chunks are just right here, and that's making the folder really big. So I think to organize this, we might want to add another folder in here called chunks. And we're going to move all these chunks into here so that it's the chunks there and the world info like that. And we're actually going to do that in the code as well. If we go into the chunks here, do you see this slash that's here that's just by itself? We're going to add in chunks and another slash. We're going to go down and do the same thing here. Chunks and a slash there. Let's press the play button just to check and make sure that this loads. Yep, there we go. I've got the little hi message here and the little smiley face, and over here we've got the house. All right. So, now, what we want to do, we are going to create a new folder here, and we're going to name this Game States. And we're going to create a new file in here called GameStates.cs. Alright. And then I'm going to now teach you about a new thing in C Sharp that I've not shown you before. And this is called abstract classes. So, it's pretty simple. An abstract class is a class that has functions that other classes that are a type of, like if there's a game state class, and the game state has a render function and an update function, and then you have a menu state that is also a game state, the menu state has to have the update and render. So what we're going to do is we're going to do public abstract, and you can see when you start typing in AB, abstract appears there, so we can press enter, class, and game, capital G, state, and then the curly brackets. And I think I actually want to click on this and rename it to game state and remove the S here. All right. So now we have our game state, and we're going to do public abstract void render. And we're going to put a double delta in here and the semicolon there. So this is a little bit different from a regular function. This is an abstract function here. And we will do public abstract void update double delta, a public abstract void on start double delta, and public abstract void on close Oh wait, no, the on start doesn't need the double delta in there, sorry. And then we're going to right click here and make a new file, and I'm going to start to show you how the abstract class works. We're going to create a new file called menu state.cs. And we'll do public class menu state, and these little two dots right here, and game state, and the curly brackets. Now you can see the menu state has a little red line under it, and it says menu state does not implement all these methods. So we'll go and click quick fix, implement abstract class. And boom, we've got on close, on start, render, and update. And we're going to remove all these things that say throw new not implemented exception. And then we're also going to create a new file called worldstate.cs and public class world state, the two dots here, and game state, and the curly brackets. Hover your mouse over world state, quick fix, implement abstract class, remove all of these. All right, and now we've got our game state abstract, our menu state, and our world state. Now let's go into program here. First, we're actually going to remove this entity 2 and save that. And we are going to make a new class, and this new class is going to be our game window. So right click on the 2D Minecraft tutorial, we're going to create a new class called, actually, you know what? We'll make it called game.cs, and we will do public class game and the curly brackets. And in here, we're going to do public game state and call this state equals new menu state. And like that. We're going to make a new function called public void open state. And inside the parentheses, we will put game state new state. Or sorry, let's just call it other, like that. And we will do state dot on close, and the parentheses and the semicolon, other dot on start, the semicolon and the parentheses there, and we will do state equals other. Boom. Now we will go down here, public void on, sorry, not on, update, and a double delta with the curly brackets here, and state dot update, and put delta in there, and public void render double delta, the curly brackets, state dot render delta. All right, so we've got our game, and the game has game states. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to go and make a constructor in the game state, public game state, and we're going to put in these parentheses game game. And the curly brackets there. And then we're going to make a public game game. And in here, this dot game equals game. And save that. That's Control and S. Now menu state and world state are red. We need to go here, hover over menu state, quick fix, generate constructor, go to world state, hover over the world state, quick fix, generate constructor. And then in the game here, we can do a new menu state of this. And if you notice, this is not available in the current context. And the reason why is we need to put it in a constructor. So we need to do a public game, the parentheses, and the curly brackets, and get rid of this, and we will do state equals new menu state this. All right. So now we're going to take this world and this player here and select all this, right click, and cut, and go into the world state. Press enter here, right click, and paste. And then we're going to make some variables up at the top. Public, world, world, semicolon, public, entity, player, semicolon. Oh yeah, and also quick fix for the dvac2 using glm sharp. And let's remove that part and that part. And then after this game, we're going to do a string of world underscore name. And then remove this my world here and replace that with world underscore name. Now we've created a world, added the player to it, and then right here, we're going to do on close world.save in there. And then on the render, we can do world.render delta in here. And on the update, world.update and the delta in there. And you know what? We can actually get rid of the onStart. Let's get rid of the onStart because this constructor is just going to do all of that for us. Yeah, and then get rid of the onStart in the menu state. And then in game state here, we can get rid of onStart. And in game here, get rid of other onStart. And then in the program, we're going to do a game up here, game equals new game, parentheses and semicolon, and we're going to do game.render, game.update, and then at the very end, game.state.onClose, parentheses and semicolon. So now, let's press this play. And we're going to have a blue background. Like that. Alright. So, what we need. Since we have the game starting in the menu state, on this render, we are going to do raylib. Let's see if we can get Yeah, we're going to do a draw text. Let me check. What is draw? Okay, that's a little bit complex. Let's just do draw text. We should be able to... Yeah, we can do measure text as well. All right. That is going to be very useful. We're going to do a draw text. And the text is going to be just test for now. And we're going to do it at 0, 0, font size 12, and the color dot white. Let's press play. All right. So as you can see, there's a little tiny test right there. All right. So what we need is we need a function. Let's actually go into the game state. We're going to make a public ivec2 and press enter. Get text size string text int size, and we are going to return a new ivec2 of raylib enter dot measure text size, and then size. That's going to get the size for the text. That's going to be very useful for checking a button. So we're going to go into the menu state here, and we're going to make the title. So let's change this to 2D Minecraft, and I'm going to make the font size 64. Let's press play. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. We got 2D Minecraft up there in the top left. And if we want to center it, let's do get text size now, 2D Minecraft, and 64 for the size. And we will do raylib render width, the parentheses, divided by 2. Oh wait, we need to do var title underscore size equals minus title underscore size divided by 2. And let's see. Cannot convert. Oh, sorry. That's title size dot x. And now let's press play. And now it's in the center like that. All right. So then we're going to make a button. So in the game state here, we're going to make a public bool. Actually, let me check something. Let's go Visual Nougat. Let's go search raylib here. I was hoping maybe it would have a GUI function, but it doesn't look like it does. All right, so we're going to make a bool function text button string text int x int y int size And all right. So now what we can do is we're going to make a color. And another thing we're going to do down here. All right, so we're going to do raylib dot draw text x y size color, right? And then we're also going to do var size equals get text. Oh, sorry. Maybe we don't want to do size. We're going to call this s equals get text size and semicolon after that. And then var mouse equals raylib mouse position. And that's going to be the get mouse position. If mouse.x greater than x and mouse.y is greater than y and mouse x less than x plus s.x and mouse y less than y plus s.y. Then we're going to do if raylib.mouse button pressed and left. Curly brackets. Return true. And then down here at the end, return false. All right. And then in here, let's add a public bool quit equals false. And in here, we're going to do raylib window should close equals false, the 2 lines here, or game.quit equals true. And in the menu state, we're going to add a quit button. Text button, quit, and let's put this at 0, 250, make the size 64, color dot white. And we're actually going to do, let's do an if, and we're going to remove this semicolon here and drag this into the if, add the curly brackets afterwards, and then we'll do game.quit equals true. And now if you click on this, that's odd. Let me see something. Console, right line, quit. So it is working, but for whatever reason, Try that mouse button down. Alright, so it is saying quit. Let's go into the program. Let's see. Or game.quit equals true. Oh, the or. We need to change this to the two ands here. And then... Oh, and game.quit equals false, sorry. There, now when you click on that button, it closes. And we're going to change this back to is mouse button pressed. That's a little bit of an odd thing though, where wonder why the pull input events doesn't seem to be working. Alright, we'll just do his mouse button down. There we go. Now if you press the quit button, it quits. Alright. So now Alright, but now that we've got our main menu state here, we are starting to run out of time for this episode, so I will actually leave the rest of the menu for next time. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next episode.